had good cause to thank God and King Stephen for relative order. Not here, surely, should the conventual peace of matins fear any disruption. And yet brother Anselm, for one instant, had faltered. In the dim space of the choir, partially shut off from the nave of the church by the parish altar, and lit only by the constant lamp and the candles on the high altar, the brothers in their stalls showed like carven copies in this twilight without age or youth, comeliness or homeliness. So many matched shadows. The height of the vault, the solid stone of the pillars and walls, took up the sound of brother Anselm's voice, and made of it a disembodied magic high in air. Beyond where the candlelight reached and shadows ended, there was darkness, the night within, the night without. A benign night, mild, still and silent. Not quite silent. The tremor on the air became a faint, persistent murmur. In the dimness under the rood loft, to the right of the entrance to the choir, Abbot Rodulphus stirred in his stall. To the left, Prior Robert's habit rustled briefly, with an effect of displeasure and reproof rather than uneasiness. The merest ripple of disquiet shivered along the ranks of the brothers, and again subsided. But the sound was drawing nearer. Even before it grew so loud as to compel notice, there was no mistaking the anger in it, the menace and the dangerous excitement, all the marks of the hunt. It sounded as if the pursuit had reached the point where the van chasseurs had run the quarry to exhaustion and the parfiteurs were closing in for the kill. Even at this distance it was clear that some creature's life was in peril. The sound drew nearer now very rapidly, hard to ignore, though the precentor continued valiantly leading his flock in the office, and raised his voice and quickened his tempo to ride over the challenge. The younger brothers and novices were shifting uneasily, even whispering, half stimulated, half affrighted. The murmur had become a ferocious, muted howl, as if gigantic bees were in swarm after an intruder. Even abbot and prior had leant forward ready to rise from their stalls, and were exchanging questioning looks in the dimness. With obstinate devotion, brother Anselm lifted the first phrase of Lauds. He got no farther. At the west end of the church, the unlatched leaf of the great parish door was suddenly hurled open to crash against the wall, and something unseen came hurtling and scrabbling and gasping down the length of the nave, reeling and fumbling, and fending itself off from wall and pillar, heaving at breath as though run to death already. They were on their feet, every man. The younger ones broke out in frightened exclamation and wonder, nudging and wavering in doubt what to do. Abbot Rodulphus, in his own domain, was hampered by no such hesitation. He moved with speed and force, plucked a candle from the nearest sconce, and went striding out round the parish altar in great loping strides that sent his gown billowing out behind him. After him went Prior Robert, more tender of his dignity, and therefore slower to reach the scene of need, and after Robert all the brothers in jostling agitation. Before they reached the nave they were met by a great exultant bellow of triumph, and a rushing and scrambling of dozens of frenzied bodies as the hunt burst in at the west door after its prey. Brother Cadfael, once well accustomed to night alarms by land and by sea, had surged out of his stall as soon as the abbot moved, but took time to grasp a double candelabrum to light his way. Prior Robert, in full sail, was already blocking the right-hand way round the parish altar, too patrician to make enough haste to ruffle his silvery beauty.